When you experience increased resistance, it's not a sign that you're on the wrong path, it's often the exact opposite. Resistance comes when you're moving forward, when you're on the verge of breaking through to a new level of growth, purpose, or achievement. Think of it as a test of your endurance, your commitment, and your ability to push past the discomfort to reach what you've been striving for. Resistance manifests in different ways. It could be external obstacles like financial hardships, strained relationships, or unforeseen challenges that seem to block your every move. Or it could be internal battles, self-doubt, fear, and the feeling that you're not good enough. These forces rise up with intensity, just as you are about to step into a new realm of possibility. This is no accident. It's as if the universe, life, or even your own mind is asking, do you really want this? Are you truly prepared to handle what lies on the other side of this obstacle? You see, breakthroughs aren't just about reaching the destination, they're about becoming the person capable of sustaining the success that awaits. Just like in nature, where a seed must break through the hard shell to sprout and grow, your breakthrough comes with a period of resistance. The pressure you feel is part of the process of transformation. When everything feels like it's pressing in on you, know that this is a refining moment. It's testing your resolve, pushing you to let go of the things that no longer serve you, and strengthening you for the opportunities ahead. One of the greatest truths about resistance is that it reveals the strength within you. It forces you to dig deeper into your character, your purpose, and your commitment. You can only break through what you are willing to confront. The resistance isn't trying to stop you, it's pushing you to rise higher, to stretch further, and to see the depths of your potential. The increased resistance is the precursor to growth, a signal that the very thing you've been working for is just on the other side. Don't retreat. Don't let the weight of the challenge cause you to turn back. Fatigue, especially the kind that feels like it's coming from deep within your soul, is often a sign that you're on the edge of something transformational. This isn't the usual tiredness that comes from physical exertion or a lack of sleep. It's an exhaustion that permeates every part of your being, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You wake up already weary, and no amount of rest seems to restore your energy. It can feel overwhelming, even discouraging. But unusual fatigue is not without purpose. It's a byproduct of the intense inner work happening beneath the surface. Whether you're aware of it or not, this fatigue is tied to your spirit expanding, your mind processing new realities, and your soul preparing for what's ahead. It's as though your whole being is working overtime to align with the breakthrough you're on the verge of experiencing. This kind of exhaustion often shows up when you are about to cross into new territory. Your mind is stretching to understand new concepts, your emotions are being refined through trials, and your body is adapting to the demands of what's coming. Every significant step forward comes with a cost, and sometimes that cost is your energy, your strength, and your focus. The deeper the transformation, the more fatigue you might experience. During these moments, it may feel as though the weight of your journey is too much to carry. You might be tempted to question your path, wondering why the work has become so hard or why you feel so drained. This is because breakthroughs often demand more from us than we initially anticipated. They require more focus, more resilience, and more endurance than we may have realized when we first set out. Your body, mind, and spirit are processing this demand, and the fatigue you feel is part of that process. Unusual fatigue also signals that you are shedding the old version of yourself, the one that is no longer equipped for the next level. Just like a caterpillar in the cocoon, this period of intense energy consumption is necessary for the transformation that's taking place. You're being prepared, refined, and stretched, and that process can be exhausting. While fatigue can sometimes make you feel like slowing down or stepping back, it's important to understand its deeper purpose. Your body and spirit are undergoing a shift, and that shift is demanding more from you than before. This fatigue isn't a sign of weakness, but rather a mark of the intense work happening beneath the surface. Sudden clarity is a moment of revelation that often arrives unexpectedly. It's that sharp insight that cuts through confusion, doubt, and uncertainty, allowing you to see your path forward with unmistakable precision. When it happens, it feels as though a veil has been lifted, and everything that once seemed complicated or out of reach is now within your grasp. This clarity doesn't come by accident. It often follows periods of deep frustration, confusion, or even mental fog. You may have been wrestling with decisions, trying to make sense of situations, or questioning your direction. Then, almost out of nowhere, answers begin to surface. This is the moment when things that once perplexed you suddenly seem obvious, as though the pieces of the puzzle are finally falling into place. The journey to this point may have felt overwhelming. You might have been navigating through a fog of uncertainty, feeling as though you were walking blindfolded, unsure of the next step. But just before breakthrough moments, there is often a shift where everything starts to make sense. The ideas that were once scattered come together in a coherent whole. This sudden understanding often reveals not only the next steps, but also the deeper reasons behind the struggles you faced. When clarity strikes, it's not just a mental phenomenon, it feels like a shift in your whole being. Your thoughts align, your emotions settle, and your energy redirects with purpose. You can identify what's important and what no longer serves you. In an instant, distractions fade away, and your priorities become crystal clear. You may find that decisions you've been delaying for months or even years suddenly feel urgent, not because of pressure, but because the direction now feels right. This experience of sudden clarity also brings a sense of empowerment. What once felt like obstacles now appear as opportunities. The situations that seemed tangled and confusing become clear and manageable. Your vision sharpens, and you begin to see the broader purpose behind your actions and challenges. You may have been caught in the chaos of everyday life, but now you recognize the bigger picture, the overarching plan that has been unfolding all along. Sudden clarity is like a light piercing through darkness. It illuminates not just the path forward, but also reveals the purpose of the detours and struggles that preceded it. It's a moment of enlightenment where everything clicks into place, providing a newfound sense of direction and purpose. Heightened frustration is one of the most intense and emotionally taxing experiences a person can endure, and it often seems to peak when you're close to a major breakthrough. It's the kind of frustration that makes you feel like you're spinning your wheels, working harder, trying more, but seeing little to no progress. It's the rising tension that accompanies the gap between your efforts and the results you desire. The harder you push, the more it seems as though nothing is moving. This frustration, though uncomfortable, is not without meaning. In many cases, frustration stems from the feeling that you've done all you can, but things still aren't shifting in the way you expect. You've invested your time, your energy, your resources, and yet, despite all of this, the results seem elusive. This heightens the emotional strain, leading to feelings of helplessness or even anger. You may start questioning yourself, your decisions, and your direction. It's like standing at a locked door with the key in your hand. But no matter how hard you try, the door won't budge. This heightened frustration is not just external. It also arises internally within your thoughts and emotions. You might feel torn between your desire to push forward and the temptation to give up. It's an internal battle, a sense of restlessness where your spirit knows you're meant for more, but your circumstances seem to suggest otherwise. This disconnect between your inner vision and your outer reality is often where frustration becomes most intense. There's another layer to this frustration that goes deeper than surface-level disappointment. The intensity of the frustration grows because you know deep down that you are capable of more, that something great is within your reach. Yet it feels as though an invisible barrier is holding you back. You can almost taste the breakthrough, but it remains just out of reach, amplifying your sense of powerlessness. At this stage, frustration can start to affect your thoughts and behaviors in unexpected ways. You may become short-tempered or overly critical of yourself and others. Small setbacks feel monumental, and your patience wears thin. You may even find that your usual coping mechanisms no longer bring relief, adding to the sense that everything is slipping beyond your control. The heightened intensity of your emotions creates a sense of urgency, like you're running out of time, even when there's no real deadline pressing on you. Yet this heightened frustration is often accompanied by a heightened awareness. While you're frustrated, you may also notice a deepening of your insight into the problems at hand. The frustration forces you to confront every part of the situation, what's working, what's not, and what still needs to be adjusted. It compels you to examine areas that you might have otherwise overlooked. This sharp focus born out of frustration can lead to new discoveries or ideas that you hadn't considered before. Frustration, in its heightened state, is not a static experience. It has an energy of its own, pushing you to act, to make decisions, to find a way forward, even when it seems impossible. It's uncomfortable because it stretches your emotional and mental limits, demanding more of you than you thought you were capable of giving. And while it may feel like you're stuck, this intensity is often a sign that significant change is just around the corner, though it may not be immediately visible. Unexpected encouragement is a powerful and often surprising force that tends to appear just when you feel like you're reaching your limit. It comes in moments when you are feeling weary, frustrated, or even on the verge of giving up. In the midst of your struggle, a word, a gesture, or an event takes place that lifts your spirits and reminds you that you are not alone in your journey. These moments of encouragement come from the most unexpected sources, sometimes from people you never imagined would notice your efforts, and other times from situations that seem almost divinely timed. This kind of encouragement can take many forms. It could be a simple conversation with someone who unknowingly says exactly what you needed to hear, or perhaps a mentor, colleague, or even a stranger offers praise or recognition for the work you've been doing. In other instances, you might stumble upon a quote, a passage, or an inspirational story that speaks directly to your heart, as though it was placed in front of you at the perfect moment. These moments feel like a breath of fresh air, reinvigorating your sense of purpose just when you thought you had nothing left to give. Unexpected encouragement also serves as validation. It reminds you that the path you're on, despite its challenges, is one that matters. Often, when you're pushing toward a breakthrough, you're met with obstacles and moments of doubt that make you question whether your efforts are in vain. Then, out of nowhere, a sign of support appears in email, a message, or even a small gesture of appreciation that reignites your belief in yourself and your purpose. In some cases, the encouragement comes not just as kind words, but as tangible help. You might find that someone offers resources, connections, or guidance that accelerate your progress in ways you couldn't have imagined. Frustration, in its heightened state, is not a static experience. It has an energy of its own, pushing you to act, to make decisions, to find a way forward, even when it seems impossible. It's uncomfortable because it stretches your emotional and mental limits, demanding more of you than you thought you were capable of giving. And while it may feel like you're stuck, this intensity is often a sign that significant change is just around the corner, though it may not be immediately visible. Unexpected encouragement is a powerful and often surprising force that tends to appear just when you feel like you're reaching your limit. It comes in moments when you are feeling weary, frustrated, or even on the verge of giving up. In the midst of your struggle, a word, a gesture, or an event takes place that lifts your spirits and reminds you that you are not alone in your journey. These moments of encouragement come from the most unexpected sources, sometimes from people you never imagined would notice your efforts, and other times from situations that seem almost divinely timed. This kind of encouragement can take many forms. It could be a simple conversation with someone who unknowingly says exactly what you needed to hear. Or perhaps a mentor, colleague, or even a stranger offers praise or recognition for the work you've been doing. In other instances, you might stumble upon a quote, a passage, or an inspirational story that speaks directly to your heart, as though it was placed in front of you at the perfect moment. These moments feel like a breath of fresh air, reinvigorating your sense of purpose just when you thought you had nothing left to give. What makes this encouragement so profound is its timing. It doesn't come when everything is going smoothly. Rather, it shows up when you're deep in the trenches, fighting battles that others may not even see. It arrives when you've been questioning your efforts, your progress, and even your worth. This kind of support acts as a gentle reminder that your hard work has not gone unnoticed, that your persistence is making an impact, even when you don't immediately see the results. Unexpected encouragement also serves as validation. It reminds you that the path you're on, despite its challenges, is one that matters. Often, when you're pushing toward a breakthrough, you're met with obstacles and moments of doubt that make you question whether your efforts are in vain. Then, out of nowhere, a sign of support appears in email, a message, or even a small gesture of appreciation that reignites your belief in yourself and your purpose. In some cases, the encouragement comes not just as kind words, but as tangible help. You might find that someone offers resources, connections, or guidance that accelerate your progress in ways you couldn't have imagined. These unexpected blessings remind you that the universe, or perhaps even divine timing, is working in your favor, aligning the right people and circumstances to aid your journey. This kind of help feels almost miraculous, as it often arrives just when you're running out of options or when the way forward seems unclear. See, this kind of peace is not the absence of conflict or problems, but rather a profound inner calm that exists in the midst of it all. You may be surrounded by difficulties, financial struggles, relationship tensions, or health challenges, but somehow you feel grounded, centered, and unshaken. It's as though something deep within you knows that you are being held, guided, and protected, even if your mind can't fully grasp how or why. The unexplainable peace transcends reason, logic, or the circumstances at hand. This peace often appears during times of waiting, when you're on the brink of a breakthrough but haven't yet seen the evidence of it. It's a stillness that washes over you, assuring you that even though you haven't reached your destination, everything is unfolding exactly as it should. You may not know all the answers, but you sense that there is a plan greater than your own understanding at work. This peace gives you the patience to endure the waiting period without feeling rushed or anxious. Unexplainable peace also brings with it a sense of trust and surrender. When it appears, it quiets the inner voice of doubt, fear, and worry. It allows you to stop striving and struggling, to let go of the need to control every outcome. You feel a release from the pressure to make things happen by your own efforts, and instead, you can rest in the knowledge that something beyond you is orchestrating your path. This peace helps you lean into the flow of life rather than resisting it. There's also a stillness to this peace that allows you to think clearly and make wise decisions, even when the external environment is chaotic. It sharpens your intuition and helps you navigate through confusion with a sense of confidence. This clarity comes from being deeply connected to your inner self and trusting that you are aligned with a higher purpose. It's not that the challenges disappear, but you no longer feel overwhelmed by them. Instead, you can face them with a calm and composed spirit. The unexplainable peace that comes during difficult times also has a ripple effect on those around you. Others may notice your calm demeanor and wonder how you are able to stay so composed in the face of adversity. This peace is contagious. It has the ability to inspire and reassure others simply by being present in your life. It's a quiet strength that speaks louder than words, showing that you are anchored in something deeper than your external circumstances. This peace often comes when you've released your attachments to specific outcomes or timelines. You've accepted that things may not go exactly as you planned, but you trust that whatever happens is ultimately for your good. This doesn't mean you stop caring or trying, but rather that you no longer carry the burden of anxiety over what you cannot control. There's a freedom in this surrender, and it allows you to move through life with greater ease and grace. Unexplainable peace is also a form of resilience. It helps you stand firm in the face of storms, knowing that no matter what comes your way, you will not be shaken. This peace becomes your anchor, grounding you in moments of trial and uncertainty. It's a reminder that peace is not dependent on your circumstances. It is something that arises from within, from a place of deep spiritual connection and faith. This kind of peace is a gift that sustains you during the most trying times, allowing you to move forward with a quiet confidence and unshakable trust.